action. Hello there to all you bucketheads, and welcome to any newfoundlings. This is the most disorganized podcast on the internet. Welcome to Under the Helmet Podcast. Woohoo! And today we are joined by a special guest, Brandon at Cloud City Conversation. So how you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Dude,
Pretty
it is
good,
a good
pretty
night.
good.
I've been missing Worlds Collide for a second now.
So this is the episodes where you guys do like other podcasters, or is just anyone?
Depends. It's mostly been other podcasters. We did have an interview with we had Vanilla Wombat on here to talk about. He got to go to what is
Galactic
it?
Star Cruiser.
Yes.
The Galactic Star Cruiser. So we
Yeah.
talked to him about that for what seemed like that was a really good conversation. And then we've had some other guests. We had the 1313 podcast, who's just
Love
a
those
really fun
guys.
group of guys.
Man, I
Yeah,
missed
they're
that
awesome.
one.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and then
they
we've had some
were.
people from Lightsaber Studio. So
Okay.
we've got a couple more episodes in the works. I made a friend through TikTok who's a voice actress. So I think
Yes,
her and
you
her
were
friend are
telling
going to
me.
be coming on an episode very soon. So keep an eye out for that. But,
Okay.
Speaking of guests, you have had so many on your show.
I mean, freaking
I
everybody.
wanted to ask this. So, who are some of your favorites? Like, you don't have to you have to deny this and they're all great. But which was one that you felt like you had a really good conversation with?
So, there's been so many. So I love everyone that's coming on my podcast. They've all been great. I've had I'm about to hit episode 50 here soon.
Yeah, I saw you. You've been doing this for a good second now.
I've been doing it for almost a year. And so, yeah, I've had countless people on. I think one of the most significant ones was when I had Chris Bartlett on. If you guys don't know who Chris Bartlett was or is, he plays a lot of minor roles in every single live action TV show that Star Wars has done.
Yeah,
he's in Mandalorian both seasons. He's in Book of Boba Fett. Now he's in Kenobi. So, yeah, he was incredible to talk to. I sat down and talked to him for like an hour or so. He was really fun to chat with. And then there's some smaller creators, or they're not even smaller creators. I've made good friends with Ben Livid Cosplay, Max PMP Den of Antiquities, who's a smaller content creator. Dak Jarin and Noah Maurer, good friends with them now. They do cosplay and they're big on TikTok. I actually crashed with them at Celebration. So the three of us ended up getting a hotel room for all 4 nights of Celebration.
All right.
Got close to those guys. But I've talked to a couple other ones. Talking to Azatru, who's a Battlefront YouTuber, was cool.
Dude, okay, I kind of want to, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was scrolling down your YouTube channel, a little stalkery, fully, and I was like, holy shit, this man looks like my YouTube history. You've had my YouTube history, half of the people that I follow on Instagram on your podcast, and I was just like, holy shit, Dylan, who did you invite on here? This man is way out of our league.
I'm not. No way. No. No way. But one of my favorites, another favorite was Wolf. He's great guy. He was really fun to talk to. He's really genuine. But yeah, when you go to the right place in the Star Wars community, you meet the greatest people.
Oh yeah.
Just stay out of the comment sections, and the Star Wars community is much better. Stay off Twitter and the comment sections.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Oh god, you've not been around to see this banner used yet, but
oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have quite a few banners where I've definitely gone on rants before, but TikTok comments I've gotten where people just I guess they feel the need to just call you out for whatever reason. Like you can just say like, oh, I liked like I did a post. One of my like first ones that got over like 10,000 views was it was a post about Star Wars Rebels, and it was just like I was making a bit about how Maul's about to take revenge on all of his enemies, and then some blind Jedi Knight completely ruins his plans. And like there was this long comment thread about how people were like, "Yeah, Darth Maul got nerfed in Rebels. He sucks." And I was like, "Did you not watch the show? Like Darth Maul was great in Rebels.
Right? Rebels
Like
is incredible. It is
it is.
peak Star Wars, man. Like
It is.
those who don't give it a chance are really missing out on like some of the best Star Wars content we've ever gotten.
I would
tell
say
you what,
as
I was
far
talking
as
to a
like
friend one day.
Hmm?
I was talking to a friend one day who is not a huge Star Wars fan, but kind of like has seen the movies and was like, I was watching Rebels, and he was like, I know this is Star Wars because they have like the lightsabers and stuff, but he was like, what show is this? I'm like, oh, this is Star Wars Rebels, and he goes, not a bad show, but like I'm not a big fan of the animation style. And I think this was season 4, so I was like, well, just give it a try. And I was like, I didn't like it at first either, but it really does grow on you, especially when
Yeah.
you have that background with Clone Wars, and you're like, okay, this is like the continuation of Clone Wars, and it's very stylized, and it's based off Ralph McQuarrie's art. So when you see that, you're like, you know what? It's not as bad as people say it is.
Absolutely not.
Personally,
And
I
look
enjoy it.
behind me. There's like multiple Star Wars Rebels figures up here. I think
There
I
you
have
go.
more Star Wars Rebels figures than I do any other figure. Like,
I've got
Kanan, Zeb, and Ahsoka back there.
I think I've got more Book of Boba Fett figures than I do anything else.
I only have one thing, Book of Boba up here, and it's the Boba Fett pod.
Wait, wait. I think I got.
But,
Is it this guy?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not fond of the cow.
I got him, and okay, admittedly Fennec from Mando, but
Yeah.
probably my most prized possession in my collection. Let me get him out. I show this thing off every chance I get. This is my most prized possession. It's me.
That's awesome.
My girlfriend
That's really
made me. She custom painted. It's I think like a season 1 Mando, but she's a graphic designer. She did all of the box art custom on this thing.
Wow.
Painted up the Funko Pop, then put it back in there. You can't see it, but on the inside, I have a bisexual Mandalorian pride flag that I made like last Pride, and that's what she used as the background for him.
That's awesome. That's
And
really awesome, actually.
It's the coolest thing I got in my collection. I don't have anything else that tops that.
Why have anything that's cool?
Yeah, I remember the
that's
day you
Spider-Man
got that, and you were like, I remember the day you got that, and you were like, dude, I've got this really cool thing, and I was like, all right, I want to see it, and you're like, no, you can't see it yet, you got to wait, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be really good. And I think you got it for what? Was it for Valentine's Day? Was it or your anniversary? I can't remember.
It was for Valentine's Day. Anniversary is coming up in October.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember now. I was right. See, I was right. I remember things sometimes. But so I kind of wanted to ask you to get started here. What was your introduction to Star Wars? Like, what was your intro experience for Star Wars?
So I'm about to turn 21, and I've been in the Star Wars since I was
That's about-
20, or since I was 4 years old. So
Same.
the way I remember it was my uncle had come over from Pennsylvania and was hanging out with my dad, and they put in Attack of the Clones on the TV, and I'm doing Brendan things, playing with dinosaurs, playing with Star Wars toys that I don't even know are Star Wars at that point, and I just see this gloriness that is the Battle of Geonosis come on my screen, and it started from that. And I have some like vague memories here and there of Star Wars when I was younger. Like, I have this vivid memory of arguing with my dad that Darth Vader and Anakin were not the same person. but I'm like 5 years old, so I don't know this kind of stuff. But it's like, it's grown all throughout my years, and it's now hit its peak with the Star Wars podcast and all of this behind me. And yeah, so I've loved Star Wars for a very long time. In fact, 17 years now.
I was gonna say if you were 4, that's a good while.
I've been a fan I used to say since I was 2. I've been a Star Wars fan longer than I've been like conscious or sentient. Like I was like remember like running around as a little kid with lightsabers. Like some of the earliest photos of me are me like chilling with those like episode 1 era flick out like super thick chunky lightsabers.
Oh,
I've still got the Qui-Gon one to this day. It's in the other room, and I like to pull it out sometimes. I've like repainted
each color.
Yeah, and I had the Qui-Gon one. I had an Anakin Skywalker one that was like had a green blade. I've got Obi-Wan's hilt with a purple blade, like, and I've kept those through the years because like my sister and I used to play with them and bat each other with them all the time. So.
Oh yeah, there's some memories from those toys, man.
So many like hours of smacked fingers are inside of those hilts that like you just can't get rid of them.
And for us, the main problem.
I'm a Lego guy.
Oh,
I didn't.
Yeah, I've got my Lego collection right here behind me. I could go on.
I'm kind of drowning in my collection. It's I mean, we got Mos Eisley Cantina over there with the Razor Crest. I don't know how I got a TIE Fighter on that shelf, but there's one like wedged back in there. I've run out of space so bad that I've started stacking stuff on top of the other stuff.
Oh, I just bought a new shelf on Amazon like the other day. It just got here today. So I'm going away with, or maybe I'm moving this to the side. I'll have to move my signed Bengals jersey somewhere else.
Flexing the signed jersey. I appreciate it. I like it. Do you want to show it off?
I mean, I can. Oh, all right. Look. I live north of Cincinnati. I've been a Bengals fan my entire life. So let me bask in the gloriness that the Bengals are in right now.
I'm sitting here just being like, sports.
The signed jersey aspect is very cool.
Sports.
The signed jersey aspect is very cool with it. That's awesome.
This is a signed Andy Dalton jersey that I had signed.
That's pretty cool.
This was back when I was 13 or 14. I went to a practice that was right by my house that they were having, and I remember standing next to the Bengals kicker's mom, and he was local to where I was, and so we ended up standing next to her. The kicker just ran up to where I was standing, handed stuff to his mom, and got a football over there signed by him, and then like a couple other practice squad players.
Wow.
And then here comes Andy Dalton, quarterback of the Bengals at the time, just coming down the line. People are crowding. I'm being pushed back. This is the day after my birthday, and so my mom goes, "Take off your jersey," and she plays the birthday card. It's my son's birthday. This guy turns around and is like, "Here, give me that." Hey, Andy, it's his kid's birthday. Andy doubles back, comes and signs my jersey, keeps going. I love that story.
That's awesome. I actually had a similar experience. I'm gonna out myself here on the podcast for the first time. I'm a Patriots fan. So listen, you can bully me all you want. You can't bully me worse than people did when Tom Brady left, okay?
I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know how the hell we got an Indiana boy and a Patriots fan in the same podcast, but here we are.
Hey, we did it.
I can respect the Colts. I like
Star Wars. Star Wars can bring people together. We may disagree on sport ball, but there's one thing we can definitely agree on: the Space Wizard show is cool.
Space Wizard show is incredible.
It is elite. But I had a similar experience where I was at one of the Patriots training camps because my dad's brother, my uncle, is actually the mascot for the Patriots. He's been so for about 10 years. He's actually got to go to some of the Super Bowls. He's got a Super Bowl ring. Like he's into it. And I can say this now because he actually did like a public interview. So like I can actually like say it to people other than just like, oh yeah, people in like I know in real life. Like I can put this out there and not get in trouble for it. But I went to one of his camps and actually got to see Rob Gronkowski, and he was signing like people's like jerseys and stuff right next to me. And I think right about to be a senior in high school at the time. And I was looking at this guy, and the whole time I'm looking at this man, I'm thinking, his bicep is the size of my head.
Oh yeah.
That man could crush me if he wanted to. Like, have you seen those videos of people on like TikTok like squeezing an egg between their like bicep and forearm? Like, just imagine that, but it's my head.
That'd be easy. Oh.
I have a new idea for a TikTok video.
I have not touched Tom Brady's gauntlet. No, I have not touched his gauntlet. They're very protective of Brady. This was right after the whole deflate, so he really wasn't talking to anybody or doing anything. He was on the field, he practiced, and everybody was like, "We love you, Tom," because it's up in Boston. And he just like walked away because he just didn't want to deal with anybody right now.
No.
This was, I think, right after the suspension got handed down, where there was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna suspend you games," and we 1 through 4. Living in that era, where Nick right now, do better. But I wanted to talk to you about you had talked about reading some of the Star Wars books. I had listened to some of your podcasts. So, what's probably your favorite book that you've read?
It's a tie between Dark Disciple and Master and Apprentice, and maybe throw Ahsoka in there as an honorable mention because she's back there.
Hey, retconned as she may be.
Retconned as she may be. But that's a common trend with all of like the Star Wars comics and the
books.
Books. It's secondary canon at this point, and I've coped with it at this point because I've always been into the comics and books. I love reading, or I guess it's more or less turned into listening because audiobooks are so goddamn easy just to crush. And but yeah, I've crushed a lot of these books. I mean, if I pull up my audio book history, like the Queen's Hope, Peril, and Shadow, that trilogy is really good. I finished Brotherhood a couple right as it came out. It was really good.
I heard that one was awesome.
But oh shoot, man. Let me take back everything I said. The Aftermath trilogy is my favorite Star Wars trilogy.
I was gonna ask what your thoughts on Aftermath were.
I love Aftermath. So Aftermath it needs to be made into a movie trilogy. I will say this right now. It absolutely needs to be made into a movie trilogy. That would be so good.
I'd like to see it. Having known nothing about Aftermath other than that's what gave us the sexy man of Cobb Vanth, I'd love to see Aftermath. I do have to ask, what are your thoughts on Dooku Jedi Lost? Have you read it?
Really
have
good.
You listened to it?
Really good book. Or I guess it's an audio.
It's weird because it's written out in book form as a radio drama.
Uh-huh. It's all right. Regardless of what it is, it's so good. So I have really interesting thoughts on Dooku. I think Dooku was handled so poorly in canon. Like, he could have been so much better of a character. You could have had this, like, a morally gray Sith. And the way I love don't get me wrong, I love the Clone Wars so much. But they made Dooku so evil in the Clone Wars when I never got that vibe from him in the movies.
I was going to say, there were times in the movies where he was kind of teetering back and forth, because we know that during Phantom Menace he was still with the Jedi. He hadn't left yet because he leaves after his apprentice Qui-Gon bites it. Mm-hmm. So I really feel like Dooku Jedi Lost just serves as like an in-depth character study into Dooku's character and seeing what pushed this at one point in time, dutiful Jedi Master to become the apprentice of Palpatine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed Dooku's character. I just wish it was better done.
I will definitely agree with that. I think Clone Wars definitely made Dooku and Grievous as well to an extent, but they made them very like mustache twirly type villains. They made them less like you said, Dooku. Not only the more morally gray aspect of it, but like Dooku had a point in Attack of the Clones. He was like, the Republic is corrupt. We can do this the right way. And maybe he went about it the wrong way. Absolutely. And was he being manipulated by Sidious as well? Again, absolutely. But he was definitely that, like, in the Clone Wars, just this, like, I'm going to bomb senators and try to murder children. Like, and the craziest thing to me about Dooku is that he never gets Sith eyes.
Yeah.
And the lore behind the Sith eyes is that, you have to be so immersed in the dark side in order to, like, you have to, like, fully give yourself to the dark side in order to get those. Like, we see Anakin with them on Mustafar after, the Order 66 and taking out the Separatists. Like, he falls pretty quickly. But the fact that Dooku never is shown to have that level of evil shows that, like, there was always that conflict in him. And I wish that was explored more. I hope they really explore it in what is it, Tales of the Jedi, that show that they revealed at Celebration.
Man,
I want to see that, and I can't wait to see Ahsoka get retconned again, but by that show.
I feel confident they're gonna. So what I have a feeling that, like, that Sith character we see, like, it's definitely an Inquisitor. It's the Inquisitor from the Ahsoka novel. It 100% is, and that's how they're gonna show us how she got her white lightsabers. I feel confident that they're gonna do it correctly. They're showing Ahsoka with no lightsaber. I mean, Ahsoka just manhandles this Inquisitor. Like, it's gonna be so good. But
I can't wait to see it.
And Tales of the Jedi, man. When they played this trailer and I saw the young Dooku and Qui-Gon, they're like, Liam Neeson's coming back. I was like, this is what I've been wanting. This is exactly what I've been asking for. Now, I have one question for them. Will you include Rael Averross in Tales of the Jedi? Because Rael Averross is pivotal to Dooku and Qui-Gon's story. If you guys are familiar with Rael Averross, right?
I am actually not.
The name rings a bell.
Okay, so Rael Averross was the apprentice of Dooku prior to Qui-Gon.
Yes. Okay.
So, Rael goes through an interesting arc. So he's very much a not by the books Jedi. The way I like to describe it, imagine if Anakin never fell to the dark side and grew to be You guys cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I
regularly have to put things in the swear jar. Dylan tries to keep me from doing that, and I do it anyways.
I used to work with kids, so I have a creative way of swearing, but sometimes I'll drop an F-bomb and just not think twice about it. So
imagine if Anakin never fell to the dark side and just had an I don't give a fuck attitude. That is Rael Averross. But Rael Averross is like 60 or 70.
Was he in Duke? What book was he in? What?
So he's primarily in Master and Apprentice, but he is mentioned in Dooku Jedi Lost.
Okay, I gotta read those books. So I haven't read either of those. I've had a hard time getting into some of the books after, you talked about Aftermath a little bit, and I only read the first book in the Aftermath trilogy, and honestly, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the writing style. I liked the story that was being told. I just thought for me the writing style was just kind of slow and not what I wanted, but also that was also at a time in my life where I wasn't reading a lot. I feel like if I listened to it as like an audiobook, I'd have a different perspective of it. So I'd love to revisit it.
So the audiobooks are so well done. There's music and sound effects all throughout the book. So, like, when they describe a blaster being shot, you hear the blaster. When there's action going on, there's action music. It is... The audiobooks that they do for Star Wars are top notch. I'm not even joking, man.
All right.
It's so
I've heard
easy
that
to go through them.
The more I think about it, the more an Audible subscription becomes more enticing to me.
Not a bad plan.
Look,
it's not a bad plan at all.
Audible's salesman ever. Like, if Audible would ever sponsor me,
For real.
so good.
Shout out to Audible. If you wanna give us some money to shout you guys out, give us a discount code. We won't say no. We are no strangers to publicly shilling for companies and be like, hey, slide us some bucks and we'll shill even harder.
I was gonna
But,
say,
I'll go.
if they start slinging some cash our way, I won't have to keep making up sponsors.
Yeah, we've done fake sponsor bits before where like we were sponsored by the Trade Federation
Oh
and
god.
what's that? Jokes like that when we've been doing a rewatch of all the movies, and kind of sparsely going through. We went through the prequels. I
Let
think
me
next
pull up
episode.
some of my favorites of.
Yeah, and
Oh no. There was
Yeah.
the Jedi Temple Mental Health Clinic, which gave rise to the.
Wow.
Oh god.
we've had some pretty out of pocket jokes on this show before.
Well, I mean the worst one was Dr. Yoda.
Oh yeah, Doctor Yoda was this amazing Photoshop. Are you able to pull it up?
I'm gonna attempt to pull it up right now. Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get Dr. Yoda.
So a couple more audiobooks that I would recommend. These are like lesser known, less talked about Star Wars novels, but Leia, Princess of Alderaan, really good.
Yes, I want to read that one. I want to hear that one so bad.
And then the Battlefront 2 novel with Iden.
I've got
Actually
it.
really
I've got a
good.
physical copy of that book, and I haven't been able to sit down to read it. Have you
I
read
feel like
War of the
Iden
Sith?
is slept on far too much as a character.
Absolutely. I mean, you could argue that it's kind of frustrating that she goes to the Rebel Alliance really fast in the campaign. But, I mean, that's a valid complaint, but I think it works. It's just an overly used plot point.
Well,
Oh
that's
my god.
yeah, that's Dr. Yoda. Dr. Yoda of the Jedi Temple Mental Health Clinic. Help you, we will.
Dr. Yoda, I'm suffering from depression. Meditate on this, I will. Yes.
Thoughts and prayers I will send.
Prescription insurance we do not take. I'm gonna get that out of here.
Man.
Have you read any Legends books?
I've dabbled. I read Darth Plagueis not that long ago. Like, why isn't Darth Plagueis canon? Like, how does that not fit into canon?
I
I'm
think
assuming
there's
you
going to
guys
be a
read it,
story
but-
with him.
But the Plagueis
It would be
book
great to
honestly
see
should be
him
canon.
in. Yeah, it would be great to see him in either the Acolyte or
Acolyte.
the Acolyte, or even like to see Hugo Damask in Tales of the Jedi. Even if he's not like Darth Plagueis, like that would be interesting because if you think about it, in Legends he sort of has this influence with the Jedi and the banking clan, and so I would love to see that. But my favorite book, and to kind of segue into my next point, is Kenobi by John Jackson Miller. That is my absolute favorite Star Wars book of all time. I have read it cover to cover many a time, and I'll do it again. It's just that good.
I'll have to give that one a try.
It takes place right after Order 66, so it's a very different vibe from the show. It's like Obi-Wan with the wounds still fresh of of the Clone Wars and Anakin and everything like that. So it's a great story, and without giving too much away, it's just an amazing book. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's worth it, and it's another one of those books where like you change like one or two lines, it's basically canon. You can make it canon. I think the only thing in that book that would make it tough to be canon is a mention of a Tusken Raider Jedi called Sharad Het.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
I've heard of him.
Not Darth Krayt. It's Darth Krayt's father. Because Sharad is his father, and well, I mean, to be fair, to say that there wouldn't be a Jedi that went to the Tusken Raiders, I mean, it could work.
People were
it
talking
happened.
about making that season 2 of Kenobi, was him dealing with that threat.
That would be interesting because so basically the story in Legends is Sherrod Het leaves the Jedi, becomes a Tusken. His, dies. His son gets adopted, brought to the Jedi, and then Order 66 happens. He leaves and lives amongst the Tuskens, and starts threatening the Lars homestead. So he fights Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan absolutely schools him. So,
As Obi-Wan does.
and I think he ends up which I think it wouldn't really work with some of the lore we have set up around Tuskens thanks to Book of Boba Fett. But you could also say that, traditions grow and change, and that's one of the major themes in Kenobi is the idea of traditions change and times change. So you have to change with the times kind of deal. So speaking of Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan Kenobi, what are your thoughts on the show?
Perfect. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm the same way.
It makes me so mad that fans are finding all the ways to hate it and no ways to love it. Like, they're going into it to hate it, and that's what frustrates me so much, man. Like, it makes no sense to, like Reva's character is, like, the most hated one, but I absolutely love her.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I didn't understand it either. And my thing was this. Number one, she's the mirror of all of Anakin's flaws. So she's a perfect foil and embodiment of all of Anakin's failures as a person and all of his personality, traits.
That's
and then also
on my podcast,
people were like, she's a bad character. 2 episodes into the show. That's like, it's like you're going through and you're eating a cake. And it's a layer cake. And you have one or actually no, that's not a great analogy. You say you're having a meal. It's a 6-course meal. And you get through, the appetizer and like the salad. And you're like, yeah, this meal sucks. And it's like, okay, well, hold on. We've still got like 4 more courses to go in this thing. Like
you
what do you
haven't
mean?
even gotten to the soup and breadsticks of your
Exactly.
Olive Garden.
It's unlimited. Come on. And people have been shitting on episode 4. Episode 4 was probably one of my favorites.
Dude,
it was really good. It was definitely more of a filler episode, but it was still really good for a filler episode.
I hesitate to call it filler just because it progresses the plot in so many different ways. It gives us the path. It gives us, Obi-Wan in Fortress Inquisitorius. It shows, him getting his skills back and his abilities. So I would hesitate to call it a filler episode. It's not as heavy as some of the other episodes.
Action-packed,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say not action-packed because our man is swinging a lightsaber like half of that episode.
Yeah, it's definitely action-packed. And the reason I call it filler is because we know what's going to happen, essentially, in that episode.
That's true.
And characters can develop in a filler episode. Like, you know how many, I'm sure you guys know, there's a lot of filler episodes in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Same with Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, the Mandalorian has filler episodes, and they still have character development throughout that. It's not...
But if not for those filler episodes, it wouldn't land as hard. The finales wouldn't land, and the character moments wouldn't land. So I hesitate to call anything filler.
And I don't even mean filler in a bad way. I know filler.
No, I know
a connotation to the term, but I'm a sucker for slow shows. That's why I love the Book of Boba Fett. My favorite show of all time is Breaking Bad. I had a good feeling. Breaking Bad is not fast paced at all. It is.
It's a slow burn.
Slow burn. Yeah, slow burn. And I can't get. Oh, it's so good, man. I will gush about Breaking Bad all day if you guys let me. Because I'm the
same way with Daredevil, where Daredevil was like that. Where Daredevil is this sort of slow burn. It's got some action, it's got some intensity, but it also has a whole episode dedicated to its characters and the relationship between Matt Murdock and Foggy. If you've seen Daredevil, you kind of the Netflix one.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of it. I haven't finished it.
Great show. But yeah. Great show. I won't delve too much into it, but it's just a great show in general. So
it's worth a watch. Now, if you're gonna watch Daredevil, look at the whole calendar of how you need to watch all the Marvel Netflix shows. Because
I
there's
won't
Not
ever
really.
Watch Iron
Not
Fist.
really.
Iron
I watched-
Fist, I can't. I can't.
I'm not saying you gotta watch Iron Fist. I'm saying the other stuff is really good.
I had a boss tell me I looked like Iron Fist, and I didn't know how to feel about that.
I remember you talking about
He was saying it as a compliment, and it was funny because that whole day at work, I used to work as a beach lifeguard, and I was just railing against Iron Fist and saying how like awful of a show it was, and I was like, man, this show sucks. Like, and I tried to watch it. I didn't just like follow the crowd. I like tried to watch it. And I was like, I'm so bored. This show sucks. This and that. And we get to the office that day, and our the ranger who's over us, we're talking to him, and he goes, Dylan, you remind me of this character in a show that I'm watching. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. What show is it? And he goes, Iron Fist. It's on Netflix. Have you heard of it? And the two guys who had heard me ranting all day long were just like, no, never heard of that one. Never. More.
I had a guy.
And I was just sitting
who
there
started
internally
working with me.
screaming.
Oh god, I had this guy that started working with me, right? And he's quit, or no, he's quit. No called, no showed. So I can talk shit, but the dude looks exactly like Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones.
I sit here being a Lord of the Rings guy and not a Game of Thrones guy.
Oh god,
But I am a Lord of the Rings guy with Google. What was his name again?
Theon Greyjoy. But Theon Greyjoy, if his teeth were so black and missing from drugs.
I'm sorry, it's not a flattering photo, but this is the first one that came up. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, that's typically the best one, is the first one that comes up.
It wasn't the first one, but it was one of them.
The anticipation is killing me.
Is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine this guy with black missing teeth.
I went to high school with people that looked like that.
Oh man, but it's okay.
Oh,
When I was younger, I got compared. I don't look anything like it now, but when I was younger, I got compared to the kid from Stuart Little.
I'm trying to remember what this motherfucker looks like. I do not.
It's kind of the same look at. You seen A Christmas Story?
Yeah.
The main kid
Yeah.
from The Christmas Story. I kind of look like him growing up.
I'm not really seeing Christmas Story. I'm being completely honest. You look like a fella from one of my PlayStation games. Let me grab it real quick. Yeah.
Look. People tell me I need the cosplay podcasts all the time.
Dude, you would
And
you
it
would
is in the
do a
works.
great podcast.
There's
I do admit.
It is.
This fella right there.
It is. If
that
I put
one.
my hair back a little bit more. Hold on.
Yeah. Just do the brush back
Oh, my
like
hair's
that.
messing
Yeah.
up.
Get the brush
So,
back and give us your most grief-stricken, stern,
I
look.
can't. It's the worst thing. It's the thing I'm worst at, man. But I got a Black Series figure here.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. So
There you go.
people have told me since posting on TikTok, I've been growing my hair and my facial hair out. And the number one comment I've gotten on my videos is people saying, "You look like Uncle Owen." And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't hate it. I don't dislike Uncle Owen, but like there was a video of me like full Obi-Wan cosplay, and I was like, yeah, this is my Obi-Wan cosplay, and everybody was like, yeah, more like Uncle Owen. And I was like, okay. And then everyone started saying it. So now it's become like this inside joke where I'm just officially TikTok's Uncle Owen. And I will run away from those Uncle Owen videos every chance I get.
Yeah. There's another cosplay I'm going to work on alongside Cal, and that is I'm doing an X-wing pilot, but there's a twist.
Okay.
There's a bit of a twist. So you guys are football fans, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
So
But I'll listen like I am.
all right, Dylan will understand this then. So picture the X-wing helmet, but repainted to be like the Bengals football helmet.
That would be cool.
With stripes on the shoulder like the uniforms and stripes on the legs.
That would be so cool.
They're gonna like ask you to come to games with that, right? Like,
Yeah, that's the point.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, not say no to that.
Like, if I can get free tickets to Bengals games, it'll completely be worth it. Like,
I mean, join up with your local. I think Rebel Legion's got like lenient enough qualifications. You might be able to swing in with them.
Man, I don't know about that.
If not, check out Mamba,
So-
Mandalorian and Allies Morale Booster Association. I joined up with their Indiana chapter.
Yeah.
Super chill as far as restrictions, but they're Lucasfilm approved.
Okay.
Cool people.
I've spent enough time around some 501st people to know you're either going to get really awesome people or you're going to get really weird people, but in a good way sometimes. But I've also heard bad things about the 501st.
Yeah.
Well,
I've made jokes about costumes. So I made a Boba Fett cosplay, and I made my like chest piece, armor, and all that out of like cardboard. So very much a cobbled together. Like if you looked at it, you couldn't tell it was made out of cardboard, but it was very much cardboard. And like, you know, I used to joke that like, oh yeah, I'm going for 501st approval here. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get 501st approved with this, and everyone was like, okay, sure you are, buddy. I'm like, I'll
Okay,
never.
There's just a power structure in the 501st
Yeah.
where it doesn't need to be, and people get power hungry in the 501st. It's a weird thing to get power hungry over, but I've heard stories.
Wolfchild, my man, coming out here.
Yeah, I've definitely heard some of those stories too, where people are just like, you know, and why power trip? We're all a bunch of nerds dressing up in silly little costumes that look like they do in the movies. Like, it's not that big a deal.
It's awesome, but it's still not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
Like I have one of my good friends is a Vader in the 501st, and he's trying to get my other buddy who his name's Dakota, Dak Jarn. He's been on the podcast, and Noah Maurer is the Vader. So Noah's been trying to get Dak to join the 501st or Rebel Legion or Mando Mercs. Yeah, Mando Mercs. Because there's not a CRL of Mando Season 2 yet. Surprisingly, right?
Wow.
It's crazy that the CRL is not made yet. And so you can't join as Mando Season 2. So he's like, oh, yeah, just go join Mando Mercs. But we sat in LA looking at some 501st, and me and Dakota even went to this party called The Bash, which was organized by the 501st, and they said there was going to be a special guest. No special guest, spoiler. But it was a lot of old drunk people just hanging out from the 501st. Because most of the 501st is actually a lot of older people. We were like, we looked at each other and we're like, this is kind of culty. I don't know how I feel about this.
A little culty, yes.
I've definitely been to situations like that where it is definitely weird when you go to like a party or an event and you're like, huh, I'm like one of the 3 people under retirement age here. I don't know how I feel about this.
But another one of my friends, Ben, he was in cosplay as Lando from Solo. And when this man puts on Lando, he becomes a whole different person. He just embodies Lando.
Is this Mando Lando?
This is Mando Lando.
Yes, you've had him on a couple times. I need to go back and watch those.
Ben has been on countless times, but he this is like one of the first times I met him in person because he lives in LA and I'm in Ohio. So
Okay.
This dude is like all up on my shoulder, like, "Hi, Brendan," and just like he's just touching everyone. He's grooving everywhere he's going. He's like groovy Lando, just an absolute
Get that like
party
Solo
machine.
Lando vibes going.
Oh yeah.
Peak Lando.
There's
Solo.
something about putting on a cosplay where you just kind of become that character for a few hours. Like when I put on my Boba Fett, the number one compliment I got, and it was the weirdest thing, because I'm actually the exact same height as Tamara Morrison. We're both 5'7". So
Short gang.
yeah, short king. You know.
5'6", man. I understand it.
Hey, listen.
5'11" Barnabas.
Hey Google, play Short King's Anthem by Tiny Meat Gang. No, but one of the things that people always said to me, they were like, dude, you have his walk down pat. And my joke was, oh, it's just because I can't see anything. And these boots are like a size too big.
Yeah.
The
It-
trick to a good Boba Fett. Boots too big. Can't see shit.
Boots one size too big, and you have like this level of vision right here. Like you get like nothing. So
God,
like walking through the crowd, I had to like move my head so I didn't like trip over a child. And I'm walking.
you were flying solo for that.
And I've got the rifle, you know, went up on stage for like the cosplay showcase, and it was really cool because I kind of walked out and just kind of like and everybody was like, whoa. And I did the move in Return of the Jedi, and I had actually practiced. This was the one part that I'd actually practiced, was taking the rifle and kind of like shifting it up sort of to where you're like, you know, you're just kind of chilling with it, and then all of a sudden he pulls it out kind of like this move right here, where he's just kind of like chilling, and then all of a sudden it's whoop like that. And he's got it like at the hip under his shoulder. And I did that, and everybody in the crowd was like, ooh. So it was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I feel like Boba Fett right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you. When Noah puts on Vader, he embodies Vader because the pain that suit puts him in.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he takes that helmet off, he's like, I'm dying, but I'm just
How
going
I
to
was.
embody Vader.
It's literally how I was when I took it off. Like I was outside and I stopped to get like a hot dog or something, and I like popped the helmet on my head and was just like, oh, this is wonderful. And they're like, what is it? I'm like, air.
You want to talk? I know, Dylan. We got a con story from you, Brendan. I want to get, you went to Celebration. I mean, I want to hear a little bit about that, and then
Okay.
I've got one from me.
So Celebration was the best vacation I'd ever taken in my entire life. It's an unforgettable experience. Made all the friends that I could ever ask. I grew close to Noah and Dick, and met virtually almost all of my internet friends that went. And let me tell you, there was some cool shit that happened. Like I met Sam Witwer. I got a photo. I did the photo op with Sam Witwer. I was gonna do it with Giancarlo, but I had to cancel that because he rescheduled, and I was like, I have plans during that time. I can't just wait around here for an hour.
Right.
And I was like, so I just got my refund. Which that was like the only down part of it. Fucking Zero from Holes was at Star Wars Celebration. Me and like, this was a funny story. I just told it on the pod that's gonna go live tonight. Me and Dakota were walking around. He was out of cosplay. The one time he was out of cosplay, and he goes, "That's Zero from Holes." And I said, "Shut up. That's how do you know it's Zero? Zero. He was like 9 in that movie. That's a grown man. How do you even know that's Zero?" He's like, "Dude, trust me, it's Zero." And I'm like, "Fine." I pulled up on my phone.
No, I think I saw this post though.
Yeah, I pulled up my phone and I was like, holy shit, that is Zero from Holes. And so we walked up to him, we talked to him for a minute or two. He's a really nice guy. He does like streaming and YouTube now.
Shit. All right.
Way.
Yeah, met.
Did you
Straw
get his
Hat-
channel?
It's probably just his name, Cleo Thomas.
All right.
But met Straw Hat Goofy.
He seems like a really cool guy.
I'm
He was a
trying
really
to see
nice
if this
guy.
rings a bell.
He was
I'll
really
look him
He's
up.
what?
my
after
movie
stream.
guy, bro.
Yeah.
It's my movie. It's his thing. He's like, "Can I be your movie guy?" But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Straw Hat
he did
Goofy
that.
he's a really nice guy, really genuine. We ended up talking to him for like 5-10 minutes. He was not swarmed as we thought he would be. He kind of was just standing out there alone. But yeah, a lot of cool cosplays. I mean, there was this George Lucas cosplay, which was like, oh my god, it was perfect.
Are you sure it was a George Lucas cosplay and not George
No,
Lucas
I'm
just
sure.
disguising himself to get into Celebration?
I'm 99% sure it was not George Lucas. There was also a Mark Hamill cosplayer, like as old Luke, looked incredible. He was taking photos with the George Lucas, and the 3 of the guys that were me, Dak, and Noah. We just jumped in for a photo. I'm the only one out of cosplay, in that photo that we took because I don't cosplay yet.
Yet
So
we'll get
but
there.
I'm
Where
gonna
is
get
he
there. I'm gonna try and make it to London. It's slim possibilities, but I'm gonna try my best to reunite with the guys.
I'm hoping I'll be there. We'll see.
We'll see what
It's gonna-
happens.
yeah.
There's some
We're gonna
time in
work.
between now and then, but I can work up some money for a plane ticket.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting if our very first like live action, like the two of us meeting, because we've never met in person.
Yeah,
We're internet friends who decided to start a show together.
literally,
it would be
this
really
man
funny
drops
if-
himself into my DMs like 9 months ago and is like, "Hey, do you want to start a podcast?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I was like, "Have you ever done a podcast before?" And he says, "No." And I say, "Cool. Neither have I, but I
Figure
have
it
a
out.
microphone."
I said no, but I will figure it out.
Under the Helmet is the story of two nerds and a dream. That's it.
Our first episode, we did a review of what was it, Spider-Man: No Way Home, and it was rough. We literally did like a Zoom call and just recorded the Zoom call and then posted that. So and now we've gotten better. We've got a layout now. We've got like we stream our episodes. It's become this whole new thing. So
We have our supreme leader of the socials, my lovely girlfriend, Magically Gabby, who actually did this wonderful overlay that you see behind us with our our Instagram handle on there.
It's awesome. I mean, if you look at my old YouTube videos, like if you go to the very start,
I
it is
did.
just the audio. There's no visuals whatsoever. It's just the artwork, and it evolved into. I think at some point it went to just recording the Zoom calls. No, not even at episode 15.
I will say I like your artwork.
yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
beautiful artwork. I was going to ask you about that too. How does that come about?
So I work with a guy named Nick Ducote. He does art for me.
Yeah, wasn't he? I believe he was your first guest.
He was my first guest. So I reached out to him to make the Cloud City Conversations artwork, the background, or just the podcast art in general. And I was like, hey, would you be interested in doing character artwork for every single person that comes on my podcast? He was like, sure. And we worked out prices, and so I pay him for everything. But that's $25 a artwork, $25 an episode.
Whew.
But
That's a really good deal. That dude his work is
Yeah.
incredible.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I've seen this man's art.
yeah, Nick does
That's
amazing
not
stuff.
cheap
And
quality.
so some of the things I send, like some of the requests I send him, there's sometimes where I'm like, yeah, here, they're in cosplay, just spit that back out into art, in your art style. And he's like, all right, cool. But then sometimes I'm like, yeah, so this guy wants Boba Fett's armor with Darth Maul's head and Grand Admiral Thrawn's lizard thing around his neck.
I saw that. Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is gonna be a weird one, and he somehow finds a way to regurgitate my words into art. It's an incredible artist. I love working with Nick. He's never let me down.
I was gonna say his work is just good
Oh,
stuff.
it's so good. Like that's probably the reason my podcast is what it is Nick's art, and I will completely acknowledge
Yeah,
that.
his
There
artwork
would
is
be nothing
absolutely
without Nick.
beautiful. That's what originally caught my eye was I can't remember who it was that you were doing the episode with. I think it was either Corellia Coffee Works or Hannah's Emp that you did the episode with. It was what I first kind of like noticed your page, and I was like, dang, that's a beautiful artwork.
Yeah, Haley and Hannah both great. Hannah's been on far more times, so I think.
Yeah, I talked to I'm I think mutuals with Haley. We'll like send messages back and forth very very rarely, but amazing person, just absolutely incredible person. And like one of the things we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, I wanted to kind of get with as we wind down here is this idea of there is definitely a light and dark side of the fandom where you've got people who are out there being positive. And here's the thing. Positivity doesn't mean you're not critical. Doesn't mean you don't analyze the media.
Absolutely.
But you don't analyze it from a place of I'm coming into this with the express intent of hating it. And hating on it and saying this is an agenda and this is woke and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
You know, people can come up to it and say, you know, like who is it? Stardust M has some pretty great criticisms of the way that George Lucas writes women, for example. And I was like, you know, I've never seen Star Wars from that perspective before, but I absolutely love it. And I'm like, and that's why we need a more diverse fandom. And I'm glad to see that it's starting to get that way, because when we get new perspectives, we see things through a mindset and through eyes that we've never seen them through before because of our lived experience. And I just think that's absolutely amazing. And it's something that I want to see more of. So,
Yeah.
and I think we're moving in the right direction, because you see people who are, you know, have taken the sort of track where they're in it as almost sort of a grift, where they're doing it just for the views and the hate clicks and this and that. And you can tell they're miserable. They're not happy. They're upset all the time. And it's just, okay, what are we going to hate on today?
What were you saying, Brandon?
I bash a very specific dude. He's so irrelevant that I don't even know his name, but he was the guy who said he wanted to curb stomp Leia.
Oh, I know who you're talking
about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I used to think he was kind of funny. As soon as he came out with that comment, I was like, no, I'm out of here. This guy's a dick. Never mind.
Let's encourage violence against child actors. That's cool.
Yeah.
We've seen this one before, and look how great that turned out.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans ruined Jake Lloyd's life.
Yeah. And that's what got me, was the idea of like, this is a child. Like, you can say, okay, I don't like, you know, this character, this and that, but to say like, yeah, I'm gonna elbow drop a kid. Like, dude, how old are you? Like, you're a grown man and you're like flexing that you're a Chad. No, get out of here with that. That's not how people act. That's not how an adult should act in any context.
Yeah. That's like the one person I will absolutely bash. I have criticisms of some other creators, but I think it's more of the fans of some creators more than anything, not the creators themselves. Like, I just wish the creators would do more to combat their own fans, but
you gotta run out things then. I tell you what, we've got our fan base around here, very small, but we love them to death. I mean, we got is it 15 people in the Discord?
Yeah, we've got a good little Discord that's growing, and I'll tell you how I know we're in the right place is I know I watch the numbers on our Instagram sometimes, just because, I mean, it's what you do. And we were sitting right at like 100 followers right about. And we made a post about Moses Ingram, and we made a post about Pride Month. And like two people, like we lost 2 followers like instantly because of that. And it could have just been bots, who knows. And I just said, good riddance, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. I mean,
so ridiculous.
That's how you know you're doing something right. If you're gonna piss people off like that and they're gonna leave, bye. See you later.
If you piss people off doing the right thing, that says more about them than it does about you.
Absolutely.
Hold on.
So to kind of wind down here, I want to hit you real quick with some rapid fire questions. I totally didn't steal from 1313.
Wait a second.
But,
you had something you was gonna say. What were you saying, Brendan?
I was just looking at the art or the post you guys made about our Worlds Collide thing that we both posted.
Yeah.
I thought for a second the background was the same as my backdrop here. I know you kind of can't tell. I guess if I turn this way, you can kind of see the Lars Homestead.
Oh, no way!
So
I didn't notice. That's crazy.
Most people don't know that because this is all in the way and it's so low.
You thought we had somehow, taken a snapshot of the recording face.
No, I thought it was the same thing. What'd you say?
Is that the Lars Homestead with the binary sunset?
Yeah.
Where did you got to DM me where you got that from, because I've been looking for a good. You got it from Redbubble? I'll have to check it. I'll have to check that out, because I've been looking for a good tapestry to put up that's like Star Wars themed but still looks beautiful. I've got some old college frat guy flags that really need to go because they don't reflect my personality anymore.
Yeah. For the
But I
longest time
hate
before I had a
bare walls,
girlfriend,
so
it was the tapestry that I hung above my couch in my living room that I had in my old apartment. Since
Mhm.
we have gotten a house, it has been banished to my office. All the Star
yeah,
Wars stuff is now in my
I've heard
office.
that's how it goes sometimes.
But
I'm lucky
I'm
to have
rocking
my. I'm lucky to have my own apartment, my own space. I've got some neighbors who have come through and they've been like, "Hey, we can do this to kind of change things up." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." In one ear, out the other.
Yep.
But I wanted to finish with a couple quick little questions. So first one is what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Revenge of the Sith, Last Jedi second. I have to mention Last Jedi because most people don't like it.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Last
All
Jedi's
right.
number 2. But
Last
Revenge-
Jedi really
Revenge of the
grew
Sith
on
is
me.
definitely-
I wasn't a fan of it at first when I first saw it. Well, first I watched it, I came out of the theater very confused. Second time, and for years I kind of fell into that grift sphere of everybody hates it. So I kind of was just like, yeah, this movie sucks, and just kind of parroting what the people were saying and
Mhm.
like
That was a rough
You
time.
know,
in the
being-
fandom.
that guy.
It really was.
And since then, I have discovered creators who absolutely love it and have nothing but positivity and things to say about it. And the more I watch it, I go, you know what? I have found elements of this movie that I liked, and now honestly, it's probably my favorite of the sequels.
I will say,
Definitely mine.
Redemption arc.
probably my favorite, if not my favorite, one of my favorites is Solo.
Most underrated movie in all of
For
Star
real.
Wars.
It is. It is. And
People talk
Dylan
about
is.
Rogue
needs a
One being
sequel.
so underrated, man. Like Rogue One's
It
not
needs a
underrated.
sequel.
Everyone loves it.
Everybody loves Rogue One
Yeah.
universally.
Solo.
For whatever
Rogue One-
reason,
Rogue One
Dylan
was
has-
great.
Dylan has
I
not
just
decided that we're going to add Rogue One and Solo to our Night at the Movies series. When is
We
it happening?
are. I
Dylan?
want to hit the main. I want to hit the main movies first, and then we will do the anthology ones. That's the plan
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Hashtag make Solo 2 happen though.
For
Yeah.
real. Hashtag make Solo 2 happen.
Yes.
First off, I remember how hype I was when they announced Donald Glover was going to be Lando. I got so
Man.
excited. For a while,
he
he
was one of my
was
favorite
the
rappers at the time.
still is. Have
He
you
still
heard
is, yeah.
what's the song that's been like trending recently that I haven't been able to get out of my head is I think it's Me and Your Mama or Me and Your Mom or something like that.
Maybe.
Great
Maybe.
song.
I've been on a rock and metal music binge lately, man.
I feel that.
I've been back on my pirate music, blasting Ailstorm. It's pirate metal, but it's good.
Yes, it
I got
is.
my
Airport is
Rage
great.
Against the
Shout
Machine
out.
music going.
Which one?
Shit. Wait, Dylan, I didn't know you listen to Ailstorm. Holy shit.
Rage Against the Machine? You said? I love Rage Against the Machine.
Like, so I just posted a song that would save you from Vecna. I put Up and Away by Kid Cudi because I do love me some Kid Cudi, but I almost put Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine. And
Listen.
but I was like, oh god, people are gonna really shit on me if I do that.
Honestly,
Let 'em.
songs that would save me from Vecna, that song, I would say Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Or what's the one? It's not Guerrilla Radio, it's some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. What
Killing in the Name
come
of-
on. Bulls on Parade. Bulls on Parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bulls on Parade.
is good.
But the problem is that wouldn't just save me from Vecna. I would like actually throw hands at Vecna if that song was
Beat
on.
his ass. I tell you a song that would let anyone beat Vecna's ass is Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics. You cannot tell me at that moment you drop out of that shit, your hands go to your sides, and you're like, all right, let's go, motherfucker, and just crack it. Holy shit, I cracked my knuckles.
Quicksilver moment. Quicksilver moment.
Yup. Yup. That's what
Absolutely
I'm talking
bodied.
about. That is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
my best reel to date. and it's literally just me picking up my helmet off the floor, being like me getting the inspiration to do reels again as Sweet Dreams start playing. It's 5 seconds. It's gotten 40,000 views. And
he hasn't posted a reel since then.
Actually, I have. None of them have done as good. That's why I haven't posted anything in 6 months.
So while we're on music, I gotta give first of all, do you guys like horror movies?
I do, yeah.
I play horror games, and one of these days I'm going to stream them so that people can listen to me scream. But yeah, sure.
All right,
This is the conversation.
So, what is the band's name? I just blanked because I was gonna say it, and then I was like, brain, turn off. Ice Nine Kills. Ice Nine Kills is an incredible band. They do music on horror movies. So like they have a song about Jason. They have a song about Michael Myers, It, Chucky, American Psycho with Christian Bale, which is the best one if you love American Psycho. It is just a song purely
Christian
about
Bale playing Tom Cruise.
But it's a song purely about American Psycho, and it has all the references of the movie. Like, it's incredible. But that's my music recommendation. But it's metal music. It's screamo music. That's what I'm into right now.
There you go.
I'll tell you what. It's a different kind of presentation, but I've been with friends who absolutely love metal music and like screamo type metal music, and
Sorry, he's doing his thing where his Wi-Fi
it's
cuts
not
out.
particularly my type.
That's understandable. A little bit. I kind of got the message though.
Yeah. And then I wanted to finish with what is your favorite era of Star Wars?
Oh no. This is actually a question I've never thought about. Let me look at my stuff.
I have mine if you want me to buy you some time.
Buy me some time real quick.
All right. Favorite era is this era of like right after Revenge of the Sith to right before A New Hope starts. This in-between space, I love this in-between space because so much happens. Rebels happens.
Dark Times.
Yes. Rebels happens. Rogue One happens. Solo happens. There's a lot of good stuff. That Jedi Fallen Order happens. Jedi Fallen Order 2 happens. Kenobi happens.
This is my point where I give everybody the friendly reminder that Solo and Obi-Wan Kenobi canonically take place in the same year. And to do with that information as you will.
Oh, shit.
They do.
Yeah, you're right.
Also,
Jedi Fallen Order is that place.
Jedi Survivor also takes place during this year. This was an action-packed year for the Empire.
I mean, you've heard of Fury's big week from Marvel, where like, isn't it like Captain? Wait, hold up. What all happens? Is it Iron Man 2,
Iron
the
Man
Incredible
2,
Hulk,
the Incredible Hulk 4, and they discovered Captain America.
Yeah, that's all in
Fury's
1 week for Nick Fury. So what is this? Like Vader's shitty, month?
Vader's long year. But yeah,
Vader's
so what would your
eternal
favorite era be? Because mine's probably the prequels / Clone Wars era.
I'm just having a hard time picking between to the era prior to Revenge of the Sith and the prior and like between Revenge of the Sith and 4. It's tied between those two. It's either the Dark Times or like Clone Wars, Old Republic era.
The Clone Wars does tell a lot of really good stories.
But
It brought us so much in just one show, pretty much.
The Reign of the Empire era is so good, though. There's so much good content.
I have
You're asking me to choose between Rebels and Clone Wars right now. This is basically it, and this is hard.
It is. I will say, as far
that
as
that is a tough one. We have had our episode gushing about Star Wars Rebels, but we have not had an episode gushing about Clone Wars. Because we kind of do it on every episode.
I feel like it's beating a dead horse at this point. I feel like everybody gushes about Clone Wars so much, we don't really need to. Like, it's not even on our list of potential videos that we don't even... Okay, I take that back. We did one video from that. We did one. It was the Robin debate. Because I pestered you about it for 3 episodes up until we did it.
Yeah, Pod Ones has got that covered. They're doing their whole podcast about revisiting every single episode of Clone Wars or every single arc of Clone Wars.
Wow. Whew.
I'll have to check that out because that sounds like
Pod
a really
Ones are
good.
great. Luke and Char are great. I've been on there a few times. I was on the Obi-Wan Goes Undercover arc. I was on Water Wars.
Oh,
But Obi-Wan Undercover is probably my favorite arc of the whole show.
Reiko
Me
Hardin
too.
is a great arc. Although,
So a
Good.
cosplay I thought about doing is Reiko Hardin because like I want to do like a suit, right? But like, everyone's done all the popular ones, and I'm like, well, I want to do something that no one else has done. So I was like, what if I did Reiko Hardin or Fen Rao?
I tell you what.
Ben
Reiko
Rao
Hardin.
would be good. I know a guy who's doing Reiko Hardin right now. He may have worn it to Celebration. I'm not sure.
I did
But-
not see a Reiko Hardin.
I'll say this. Reiko Hardin, popular enough to get a Lego minifigure. He's just listed as Bounty Hunter. He's not listed as Reiko Hardin. He was in one set. We got one set for the Obi-Wan Undercover arc. But he is a Lego minifigure. So if you want a minifigure of your cosplay, go do it, man. And then Cal Kestis will come on the way. He's coming. We know.
Eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know.
Surprised they haven't put a Lego set out for the what's the ship they have? The Mantis.
The Mantis.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting a BD1. BD1 is coming as of like July. Buildable, like, say yay big, roughly hedge size.
So
Posable.
I will shed blood over that. I don't usually really care for Legos. It's something that I never really got into as a child, mainly because my mom and dad didn't just have money to spend on Legos.
Unfortunate,
like-
but understandable.
Yeah, so that's probably why I never got into Legos. But like, I would, like I said, I would shed blood for a Lego BD1.
I tell
that
you
I can
what,
glue on my back for a Cal cosplay.
Once I get my 3D printer up and running, I'm printing Dylan some shit, but we can talk BD1 stuff. Once I move into my apartment, it's going to be like October. So if it's going to be a sec before your Cal gets together, I had a guy send me posable BD1 files. We can talk some stuff out. I got to get a new printer first, but I mean, once it's running,
I will take you
It's
up on that
running.
offer, my friend.
I can't
take you up on that
guarantee
offer.
that it's going to be, painted and finished and stuff. That's probably going to cost you a little extra, but if you're willing to put in the work, you can be pretty. You can be real pretty.
I might take you up on that offer.
I've thought of doing I want to do a magnet system. So there's like magnets in the feet of BD1. You get like a magnet system on your back. So you just like click.
I might as well just say yes at this point.
I'm gonna keep talking it up. I build gadget stuff on the regular.
Yeah.
I've got an unfinished Dr. Octopus arm sitting over there that one day will be fully
Awesome.
motorized.
The only
That's for
cosplay-
another day.
the only
Yeah,
cosplay
man.
I
Speaking
currently
of
have
Cal,
actually
you
is
got to
Spider-Man.
do Pink Poncho Cal.
Oh yes.
Okay, so this is the problem I always see with Cal cosplays. They never have a poncho. They never have the poncho.
You
just
got to
see-
be the one. You got to be.
I think
you
the
gotta
hardest
be Pink
part
Poncho
is
Cal, the
we
best one.
see all these Cal cosplayers and it's like the Braca like base suit with no poncho because it's in 90-degree Anaheim weather.
No. Look. Being in a Vader suit, I've seen what they go through. There's no
That's
way
true.
that's worse. There's no way a poncho is worse.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, even like watching a guy, my friend in the Mandalorian cosplay, I saw this man just deteriorate day after day, and it was a cycle of, I'm not wearing it the rest of Celebration. All right, I'm putting it on one more day. All right, no more Celebration. All right, another day, and he ended up just wearing it every day of Celebration.
I tell
That's
you
how I
what,
was with my Boba Fett because I had a 2-day convention where I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna wear Boba Fett on one day and I'm just gonna wear like my Jedi the next day, because the first day was kind of cold, the second day was hot, so I was like, oh, it'll be perfect. And the first I was like, oh man, this is so hot, I don't want to wear it again. And then that second day, I was like, I got to
Dylan,
wear it. And
remind
I
me.
came out.
remind me when we have a convention together. I have a prototype suit cooler that you wear under your flight suit and runs cooled water through the entire flight suit to keep you cool as you're walking around a con. It's essentially just a series of tubes that runs around your arm. Underneath it, you will look a little bit like Finn at the start of the Last Jedi, where he's like Finn leaking bag. Ideally, bag does not leak, but hypothetically, because it works best for Mandos, because y'all got fucking jetpacks on, so we can use those water tanks. I dump in water, I dump in a couple ice cubes, and then we keep you running and circulating for the rest of the day.
Bro.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have one more question before we call it an episode.
Oh yeah, we're running over.
Yeah. Well, I want to get one more question. So, who's your favorite character? We'll end on this.
Ahsoka. It's that simple, that fast. Ahsoka.
There you go.
As you can see, I have Funko Pop, 2 Black Series figures, and her book on my display. She's the most.
I just realized her book was behind you when I asked earlier, and I didn't realize it until like halfway through the show. I was like, he's got her book right there. Of course, she's his favorite.
A few books here as well.
And her lightsaber.
Oh yeah, that's her lightsaber as well.
Yeah, that's the Is that the Black Series one?
It's the Hasbro one. I don't know if
the Hasbro one.
Yeah, it's sick.
Alrighty.
I just love how they added the blue into it, so you can be the season 7 Ahsoka.
Exactly.
But it also goes. You can also change it to green and the smaller blade color, like
the
yellowish green.
Yeah.
Nice. That is really cool.
Yeah.
I like
it a lot.
Thank you so much for coming on, dude. This was a great episode. It was really great talking to you. So, with that, you have any questions for us? You want to ask before we end it off?
Oh gosh. Who are your guys' favorite characters?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You right,
I've been eating good.
Oh god. You know what? In Ned B. The loader droid from Kenobi. The big yellow guy.
Weird flex, but okay.
Who bit the dust and broke my heart.
I can't believe they killed Illyria Sand, man. Oh wait,
I
you
know.
guys haven't seen Game of Thrones, so you guys don't understand that.
I know that she was I think I saw the meme of her and Pedro Pascal both being in Star Wars and how they were both, I think they were husband and wife in Game of Thrones, was it?
Something like
or
that,
something
yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Definitely lovers.
Man, everybody was boning in that show.
Yeah. There was boning and killing and a couple dragons.
And a lot of politics.
That too.
Yeah.
But it was
Put 'em
it
back
was
on.
subtle compared to the boning and the killing. Oh hell yeah! I love that. I've got that helmet.
All right.
All right.
I had the Captain
thank
Rex
you to-
one.
Yep. Thank you to everybody for coming out and joining another episode of Under the Helmet. Thank you so much to Brennan from Cloud City Conversations for joining us. So, where's the best place people can find you?
So people can find me on Instagram at Cloud City Pod. Go ahead and sub if you like me, go ahead and sub to my YouTube channel. It's Cloud City Conversations. About to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. Most of my listeners are on Spotify, Apple, so you guys can find my podcast on any podcast platform you'd like. I'm also on Twitter at Cloud City Cons.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll go ahead and we'll put all that in the description as well. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you so much to everybody for coming out for another episode of Under the Helmet podcast. Don't forget, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join that Discord, all of which will be in the link tree down below. Come join us. Have a good time. We have a lot of fun in the Discord. So with that being said, have a good night. May the force be with you. And we'll see you the next time we go. Ow. Under the Helmet. Relight. Go, go, go.